Teddy leads us back to the roof. They say that this was the place they used to enter and exit this world. Lapras, who still doesn't quite understand that she is in the TV, cocks her head in bewilderment. Yosuke-san and his friends gather around her and explain everything. She is shocked at first, but as she grows accustomed to the idea, she begins laughing. Relieved that I leave Lapras to them. I approach Mitsuru-san and Akihiko-san. I relay to them all the information I have gathered on this case so far. I tell them that the tournament's host was Lapras' shadow, which had emerged from her, and that Lapras may have not been stolen, but that she may have escaped on her own. She has the ability to manipulate people's senses. That would explain the signs of mental interference found on the hijackers. We were able to discover Inaba through our research. Perhaps she used the same methods. It would have taken time, but she was sealed away for over 10 years. Although she was caged, it was not clear whether she was conscious or not during that period. She had more than enough time. Mitsuru-san and Akihiko-san show no surprise, but they do let out a long sigh. In contrast to Mitsuru-san, who is lost in thought, Akihiko-san goes to get an answer straight from the source. Lapras startles when he taps her shoulder.
So when did you actually awaken?
Akihiko-san's question is blunt, but Lapras handles it calmly, knowing that it is the natural thing to ask. Oh, good lord, I'm trying to rush this.
You know, I can't remember.
She's being honest. She had used her ability on herself. Not even she knew what she really was, but Akihiko-san seems skeptical. Having no memory of it also means that she is unable to deny it.
Mitsuru-san, can you be lenient with her?
Mitsuru-san folds her arms and thinks. I know she is in a difficult position. Though Lapras may have a heart, that does not make her human. She is a weapon with dangerous capabilities. Mitsuru-san cannot decide based on her personality alone what measures to take. Especially now that we are affiliated with the police. We have our reputation to consider.
Yeah, would you, please?
Yosuke-kun.
I know I'm asking without knowing the whole story here, but please don't lock her up again.
Even his friends seem surprised by his outburst, but soon enough, they are all giving Mitsuru-san the same pleading look. Mitsuru-san winces before giving a smile.
Well, I hadn't intended to seal her away again to begin with.
Mitsuru-san.
Seriously? Did you hear that?
It should be a walk in the park compared to the challenge of sending Aigis to school.
I know, right? She has no intention of locking her away. The smile on Mitsuru-san's face confirms that much.
Thank you so much. How about if we go outside? This isn't really the place to stand around and chat.
Yeah. Well, it was a hell of a way to start off a holiday, but at least it's over. Man, why'd that shadow have to pick our school and us of all people?
Mitsuru-san and Akihiko-san freeze.
That is odd now that you mention it. I was told this place takes its shape from a person's memories. Why would it become this high school?
I had picked up on that incongruity as well. Putting aside that Inaba was chosen as the escape destination, why was a specific school so carefully recreated? I also have my doubts about Lapras' power. Strictly speaking, it doesn't rob one's sanity. What her power really does is cloud one's senses with illusions. I'm not sure that would have been enough to control those hijackers so completely.
Hey, Lapras.
Akihiko-san calls out to Lapras again. The instant he puts his hand on her shoulder, she suddenly twitches.
Hey, what's the matter?
Lapras abruptly leaps backwards. Everyone is baffled to see her white body flying over their heads.
Stay back, everyone!
Akihiko-san is the first to realize the danger and yells a warning to the others.
Sister?
Oh, great! She's been possessed again by the person we'll never know till the next game. Tension fills the air.
Why?
The blade of her axe is pointed toward me. I do not comprehend. What's going on? As I stand there confused, Lapras lowers her stance, readying herself for battle. I open my mouth to try to persuade her, but I can't. There is no time. Lapras now has the use of her persona. She will be stronger than before, If I don't focus on counter-attacking, I'll lose. I clench my jaw and hold in despair that threaten... what- that threat... The despair that threatens to overwhelm me. I must concentrate on the problem at hand. Alright, it's time for the final showdown against Possessed Labrys. Let's do this.
Final.
Okay, so what I'm going to do to start things off with the good old Gatling Cannon. Going in for a few attacks, like so. And now I'm just going to go... Oh, did not mean to do that, but hey, it's good. Because now I can just do... Oh. No, I had the perfect opportunity, but nope, didn't happen. Okay, just going to do that. Come on, walk into... Oh, no, so close. Okay, what... Ow. What I was wanting to do was hopefully finish her off with the gosh dang finish her attack, but I might just have to finish her with my normal combos, just because Aigis has a really annoying one to pull off. Okay, ow. But I might be able to. Nope, messed it up. Okay. Labrys, stop. Please, just stop. This is hurting a lot. And there we go. She's done. Thank you, Athena. Labrys falls to the ground with a thud. I try to run to her, but I stop when I hear an unearthly voice.
In repulsing it yet again. Very unexpected.
Everyone takes a defensive stance and looks around.
What is this? I'm not getting a good feeling about this.
It's certainly an ominous presence. But that voice...
Is that my voice?
Yes, it is. Before I can react, an unnatural-looking shadow, a clump of darkness thick as a pool of blood, forms next to Labrys. Our true enemy rises up from the sludge. It was a sight I'll never forget.
Aigis-san's shadow?
To think you'd fight back this fiercely. No wonder you once drove back a god. Yes, I want them even more now.
Want them? What does that mean?
Yosuke-san lashes out at the enemy, but he ignores him and continues talking.
Sadly, it seems things won't be going according to plan this time. But I'll make use of what tools I have to the very end. This is my last chance. No, more like a marvelous entertainment.
Entertainment?
Instead of answering, it raises its right hand over her.
Stand, my puppet.
Labrys stands up as if being pulled by strings.
Controlling her?
Sister!
She doesn't answer. Her face is a blank stare and her shoulders hang unnaturally. She is every inch its puppet. Confused, I look again at the enemy. Is that my shadow? It looks like me, but its voice is its powers. They are all so different from mine. But before I can come to a conclusion, the enemy uses Labrys to make its next move.
This form is exhausted from constant battle and will be useless as an asset. But unless you destroy it, it will keep rising up and attacking you all. What will you do?
Just fight you! With the battle axe in hand, Labrys dashes forward without warning. Her attack is much more forceful than in the last battle. Even with all my strength, I'm being pushed back.
Oh, crap. If this keeps up...
Let's do this! Takemika!
Wait! Don't interfere!
What?
Please!
I clench my teeth. Labrys is under the thing's control and ignoring her own limits. And she is already damaged and exhausted from the previous battle. If we all attack, we might be able to contain her, but she could be destroyed in the process.
May you suffer and curse your fate. Relinquish your personas.
Relinquish?
Personas and shadows are one and the same. If I poison your hearts, I can recruit shadows with unparalleled strength.
Wait, what? You mean turn our personas back to shadows?
The heart is frail. Its weaknesses are never fully vanquished. Given the opportunity, it can betray you and return to darkness. Old wounds that you thought you had overcome opened once again. You almost let go of your hearts, your personas. This one's desire to make people suffer was perfectly suited for such a plan.
Plan?
You caused all this to gather strong shadows?
You bastard! Who are you?
You had best hurry and decide. Who will be destroyed? This shell or the lot of you?
Why not just attack her? Labrys flies through the air again and unleashes a full-force attack. I am forced to one knee. If she attacks again, but just when I am sure it's over, something happens.
But this show is over.
I see Mitsuru-san stand straight up out of the corner of my eye. Suddenly, the menacing aura surrounding Labrys is dispelled like magic. For the first time, the enemy seems shocked. Freed from the spell, Labrys falls to the ground.
Sister!
I run to her and cradle her in my arms. What was that? Mitsuru-san smiles defiantly and glances up into the
It's
sky.
like you made it in the nick of time. You saved us, Yamagishi.
An answering voice echoes in my head. That soft but extremely reassuring voice.
Are you all okay?
Fuka-san?
Fuka Yamagishi. She is a fellow ally who helped us overcome the challenges we faced in the past. I cannot help but smile with surprise and joy.
So you had a third assistant.
Ooh, what a soothing voice! My teddy senses are telling me that this is a real cutie pie!
Is this like Rise-chan's persona? Wait, where is she?
This feeling. What the?
Rise-san opens her eyes and looks up.
It's not coming from in here. Whoever it is out there.
Seriously? She can use hers in the real world? That's amazing.
Even before I can ask, Fuka-san tells me what I want to know.
Aigis, the enemy is just mimicking your appearance. It's not actually a part of you.
Very impressive to guess correctly from such a long distance away.
Mitsuru-san stares at the enemy in shock. We hear Fuka-san's words as if she is speaking, but technically there is no sound. She transmits her voice directly into people's minds. Other people should hear nothing, yet the enemy is responding to her. I raise my guard in spite of myself, but there is no fear in me. My doubts about the enemy, my hesitation, are gone. My heart starts to burn. What is this? I've never felt this heated emotion before that's running through my body.
You must be the one behind all this. You stole Labrys and threw her into a TV. You were after Persona users from the start. That's why you chose this school and tampered with Labrys' memories. And you just demonstrated how you controlled those hijackers.
So this must be the real puppet master.
Then, that voice who tried to dissuade me back in that classroom. You're quite slow for a machine. Can't you tell by looking at me who that was?
So that wasn't something my heart saw, but just a malicious whisper. The fire in my heart is stoked higher, and I make a fist without realizing it. I thought this entire incident was just an unfortunate event caused by my sister's suffering. But her pain was all orchestrated by someone. This isn't her tragedy. Someone saw to it that this would happen. And not just to Labrys. Whoever did this tried to manipulate the pain in my heart too, by posing as my shadow. And to top it off, the culprit posed as everyone here to make them distrust each other, reopening old wounds. This was all an evil plan. I am not human, but because of that, I hold the hearts and bonds of others to be sacred. They saved me. They kept me going now. And yet, it tested those bonds and used our anguish for its own purpose. Our hearts were nothing but tools to it. Tools to hurt others. I see. I get it now. This rolling, violent surge of emotion. This shaking, burning eruption sensation. I realize that this is a type of emotion which can be best described in a single word. This is fury.
Are you angry? All right, I'll play along. The show must go on, right?
You've gone too far.
Alrighty, it's time to finally put an end to this. And also take down Shadow Aigis. Or fake Aigis, I guess. This isn't really her shadow, but just a faker. So you know what? Just gonna go. Oh lord. Ah, that burst was wasted, but oh well. Let's just go in and do just a crud ton of damage and all that. And also just gonna get rid of, well, get out of my flight mode, I guess. Also, ow, what the heck is happening? Only I can use my Gatling cannon, jerk. Okay, take it. How about this instead? And how about this? And 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 also my rocket. Well, not my rocket, my jetpack. Okay, ow. That's it. Come here, you.
I failed. Heavy damage. I failed.
Gotcha! I want to finish off with my special, but oh well. This thing shaped like me falls to the ground on its knees, but it gets right back up with an awkward, jerking motion and lets out an insane laugh. The smile on its face, contrasted with its damaged limbs, has the eeriness of a clown.
This is fine with me. Good enough for my purposes that I confirmed you have enough power to meet my expectations.
Good enough, my ass.
Those are the words of a sore loser.
This is only a temporary form. I doubted there'd be any meaning in changing my appearance. But sure enough, it made for a very enjoyable game. All that irritates me is having to feign cooperation with that foolish human until I obtain the one true vessel.
That foolish human. That's an odd choice of words. It would seem to imply that only that it is not human, but also that it is working with the human to carry out its
I will
crimes.
see you in another guise next time. Just wait until then.
It let out a raucous laugh with my face. After that, it slowly fades away, dissipating into the air. Mitsuru-san quickly calls out. However,
The reading disappeared. It didn't move, it just vanished. What could this mean?
Back to square one again.
Akihiko-san lets out a heavy sigh.
Sheesh. It even had to exit on a lame, evil laugh.
I know, right?
Another guise, huh?
Don't even think about coming around here again!
Should we put up some talismans? I've got a lot left over from when we were putting them up in our inn.
Well, even if it shows up again, it'll get double the pain we gave it this time.
Who could it be, though? How did it know about our personas?
That aside, it sure had a sneaky way of doing things. This is twice I've been kidnapped into the TV world, you know. Twice!
Their irritation is obvious, and it's only natural. They were toyed with as well, and they do not take Labrys's treatment as a tool well, but I cannot encourage them to settle the score. Akihiko-san apparently thinks the same thing.
Don't worry about it. We'll handle things from here.
Wait, but it kinda said it was still after us.
Of course. You should be aware that the enemy is out there. Akihiko only means that there is no need to abandon your lives to pursue it. We will do our best to ensure that no harm comes to you. That is, after all, our duty.
But
Guys, let's leave this to them.
You can...
are you serious?
They're right that we need to go back for now. You look beat.
Yusan, aware of their situation, speaks out. Perhaps he senses our dilemma.
I'm sorry, everyone.
He nods and looks at Yosuke-san, who reluctantly gives up. Their ability to communicate through eye contact only proves the strength of their bond.
Alrighty, attention please! The trip doesn't end until we get out of the TV!
Dude, we were in the middle of a conversation. And what's this about a trip? You really gave us a scare disappearing like that. And this isn't the first time either.
It's not my fault! Or should I actually sponsor the next Miss Inaba?
Don't even think about it.
Yeah, he had that coming. Jae-san's fist is shaking with anger after impacting Teddy at full strength. There are times when you should give it your all because it's your friend. Ah, how beautiful friendship is. I comprehend. After everyone calms down, we finally move on to the main subject, We are on the roof to begin with to leave this world. After getting everyone's attention, Teddy makes a few narcissistic remarks and clicks his heels. Then, like a magic trick at a party, some old TVs appear in a puff of smoke.
What are you doing with this ancient TV? Hang on, where'd you even get this?
It's a Teddy Vision! You can get out from here!
This TV is our escape route? Can we really fit inside?
Ooh, are you a little too front-loaded to fit? In that case, I wouldn't mind helping you squeeze through!
Teddy, shut up.
You're even worse than before, you know that?
I know, right? Jason and Yosuke-san jump in without hesitation, showing how used to it they are. Seeing that, Akihiko-san and Mitsuru-san shrug and follow suit. Labrys's eyes are wide to see everyone getting sucked into the TV, but she doesn't look scared. Her eyes are actually bright as she glances this way. I can't help but smile at that. She doesn't need my permission to do anything. I tell her to go ahead, and she dives in headfirst with a giant grin. Although, just as I thought, her wings don't fit, and she gets caught on the screen. I burst into laughter to see her legs sticking out of the TV, kicking wildly. I take off the unit from her back, on her back, and she instantly gets sucked into the TV. I wonder if she landed safely. As the last one left, I turn around and take a final look. It doesn't feel like it, but it's only been a few hours since we entered the TV, and only 3 days since the hijacking. It was a horrible nightmare, but at the same time, I met some good people. But most importantly, it's not over. The true test may be still to come. I push my toes in and slip into the TV. Everyone made it back out safely. We return to the real world. I'm surprised to find myself in Juness, a large department store. I've never seen Mitsuru-san so flustered. Even she could not have expected to emerge in the most crowded place in town, and from a display TV at that. But to make it back to limousine, we have no choice but to walk through the store. Mitsuru-san is in her skin-tight suit. Akiko-san mostly naked except for his cape. Me with my mechanical parts exposed, and Labrys with her axe on her or her wings, I suppose. Not to mention Teddy. Risa-san and Naoto-san are both public figures. One is an idol, and the other is a detective. We make quite an outlandish procession, considering the nature of our operations. I hope to avoid having my picture taken with phone cameras. However, as we walk along, I soon find that my fear of cameras is baseless. In fact, it is not cameras we need to worry about at all. It is the police. I find myself anxious in this completely unexpected situation. An arrest would mean disgrace as an unofficial unit, and I'm sure Yosuke-san and the others would like to avoid the inside of Juvenile Hall. Eventually, everyone hastily agrees with each other and takes off at full speed. I can hear Yosuke and Chie-san loudly complaining about the unfairness of the world. Mitsuru-san and Akihiko-san exchange fearless smiles. Their cold sweat is steaming from from both their heads. Then there's Teddy and Labrys having fun. I don't think they understand the situation at all. Yusa and Yukiko-san run without a word like determined athletes. Kanji-san tries to turn and fight every so often with Naoto-san having to stop him each time. Then Rise's just on her cell phone to find an alarming number of missed calls. Yeah, that seems all seems about right. In the end, our parting with the Yasogami High School students concludes with a brief goodbye as we all scatter like birds. That night, we decide to stay the night in Inaba for a quick health checkup and review of our case. After finishing the necessary steps, we decide to take an early rest. The true culprit is still out there, and Labrys needs to get to a lab for proper maintenance. After 10 years of stasis, she was suddenly forced into a series of stressful battles. It would not be surprising if some of her parts are now malfunctioning. Considering the morning traffic, we should leave early in the day. Or so I suggest, but Lapras has other ideas. May 4th, the next day. Our car is parked near an intersection away from the main road. We are here to say goodbye to everyone. Lapras wanted it this way. I am happy that she wishes to see people again of her own will. On the side of the street, all the people we met yesterday are gathered to see Lapras one last time. They wish to say goodbye to her, but they had not expected us to contact them.
I asked if I could come see everyone. I wanted to give everyone a real goodbye.
What do you do next? Are you going back to that lab?
No, I decided I'm gonna work with Mitsuru-san and them. I want to do my damnedest to catch whoever used me to bait a trap for you all.
Alright. Then I guess the party's on hold until after everything's really over. But hey, you should come see us again anyway. Promise me, okay?
You got it.
Lapras shakes hands with each of them. Even after we leave, Lapras keeps waving through the rear window. Waving and waving and waving. Waving and waving and... Even past the point where human eye can no longer see her, she is still waving. What the actual heck, Lapras? After she has waved to her heart's content, she turns to see Fuka-san and I looking at her and blushes. Fuka-san giggles.
I'm glad things went well. Oh, but first, it's good to see you again. This is becoming a real reunion.
Indeed. Things are going to heat up from now on. I must get back and reallocate my staff.
You're including me in there, right? Every opponent I made a mistake against on my journey. I made sure to go back and get a rematch. This'll be no different.
It should spur discussion amongst the staff again about working Yamagishi into our unit.
Huh? I'm still not sure about joining any special unit.
Flustered, Fuka-san starts wringing her hand. Looking at the seat next to me, I notice Lapras looking at the sky from her window.
I didn't know the sky was so blue.
There is a deep wistfulness in her
Back
voice.
at the lab, they only let me out at night. But this, I feel like I've seen it once before. That same bright blue sky.
Once before, I recalled the memory relating to those words amongst the countless memories of Lapras awakened within me. The sea, that cerulean sky and lingering clouds, the emerald blue water. In my mind, I placed Lapras at the scene, a white figure gazing from the edge of a pier. I know this scenery. For an instant, it feels like I do. Like it not slowly undoing itself. The lid to a box inside of me opens, and something hot fills my chest. What had been only an image becomes a memory. Soon after, I understand everything. I know when Lapras saw this scene. I know what she thought when she saw it. What she wished for.
I see now.
Noticing my murmur, Lapras looks at me in wonder.
The scenery from your memory was the pier outside of the Yakushima laboratory.
Suddenly, Lapras' eyes open in surprise.
The date was the final day before you were sealed. You made a heartfelt wish there. You hoped that your successor would make the same wish to see someone precious to them. And that meeting would take place at the pier. You dreamed that your successor would be able to go beyond that pier, to places you would never be able to see for yourself. And that even if your memories were deleted, your feelings would be passed on to the next generation.
Lapras' ruby eyes begin to quiver. My words have unearthed her buried memory.
That's right. It was at that very place where I met the friends I have now. When I was searching for someone, I found myself naturally drawn there for some reason.
My memories return to a certain encounter. That day, on that very same pier, I met him. My dear friend.
I think it was because of your wish. My wish? You mean the thing I wished for that day actually came true? Indeed. It stayed alive for 10 years. Thank you, Lapras. It's because of you that I found happiness.
Huh. I didn't know that. My desires. All the feelings I got from the others. They didn't go to waste.
Tears streamed down Labras's cheeks. I stretched out a finger to wipe them off, but it is already wet from a drop on my own cheek. Mitsuru-san and Fuka-san smile at us gently. Fuka-san seems a bit teary-eyed herself.
I gotta thank you, too. You made me remember something important.
After wiping her tears, Labras looks at me, her eyes clear and determined.
Yes. Someone I have to find. I need to meet her so I can tell her something.
I am about to extend my hand to shake hers, but it now seems too distant a gesture for we sisters. Instead, I pull her towards me and look at her face to
I'm
face.
sure you will. You're not alone anymore. We can search for her together.
Yeah. Thanks.
As the sun shines down, she gives me the biggest smile I've seen on her yet.
This program was brought to you by the following sponsors.